Hello yarn friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet these musical notes. If you have not yet done so already, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It really does help my channel out. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump into the materials that we will be needing to make these awesome little music notes. I do want to note, please check the description box down below. I do have links for all the materials that you will need to be able to make these. Alright, now I am using a 4.5mm crochet hook. I have a stitch marker, and for demonstration reasons I'm going to be using this teal yarn. Otherwise, if you want it to be a music note, you can go ahead and do it in white, black, whatever color that you want. To begin, you want to start with a slip knot and a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Moving on to the second part of this, you want to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So not in this one, but right here into this one, we are going to place 1 single crochet. So draw up 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2, and now into the next space, we will place 1 single crochet. Now into this last space, we're actually going to place 4 single crochets into that space, and then we're going to be working back up along this other side. So go ahead and place 4 single crochets into that spot. 1, 2, and as you see, we're kind of turning our work as we're doing that. Here's our 3rd and 4th. Perfect. So as you see, working the 4 stitches, it kind of turned our work for us. Now at this point, we are going to finish up working in these last few stitches. So into this next space here, we are going to place 1 single crochet. And into this last space right here, we will place 1 more single crochet. In total, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. Now into this first stitch is where we want to move on for round 3. So into the first space of our last row, we are actually going to make a slip stitch and chain up 1. All right. At this point, into that same space, we are actually going to work 1 single crochet, and we want to grab our stitch marker and put that into that first stitch. Now into the next 2 stitches, we are just going to place 1 single crochet into each space. So there's 1, into the next space, here is 2. Now over these 2 stitches, we're going to place 2 single crochets into each one of these. So 1, 2, into the same stitch. Now into this next one, we're going to do the same thing, 2 single crochets into that same space, 1 and 2. All right, now into these next 3 stitches, we are just going to place 1 single crochet into each stitch, 2 and 3. Now it looks like we have a stitch still left, but it's not. It's actually our slip stitch from the previous row, but what we're actually going to do is we will place 1 single crochet into that space as well. So now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stitches. At this point, what we want to do is slip stitch. We can take out our stitch marker, and we are going to slip stitch right into that first space where we had our stitch marker at. All right, there we go. So that is the first part of making our musical note. Now moving on to round 4, this is where we are going to start working up, and then we're going to start working over. And when we start to work over, that's where the little trick comes in. Now at this point, we want to chain up 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so this is what it should be looking like. Now this is where we get a little bit tricky. So we need to make a slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, but we want to do it along the back side. So typically we would just put our hook in right here and drop a loop. But what we're going to do is we are actually going to go and we're going to pull our hook to the back of our work and go from the back of our work to the front of our work, pull through and make a slip stitch. Okay, I know that's a little bit confusing, so I'm going to do it one more time for you. So slip stitching through the back, we're going from the back to the front instead of from the front to the back. So let me do that again. So with our chain 9, we're going to skip the first stitch and skip the second stitch, or into the second stitch. Right here is where we're working. So again, we're going to move our hook to the back, and now moving from the back of our stitch to the front is where we are going to pull our yarn through, and we're making a slip stitch, so we want to continue to pull it through all the way. Now this kind of changes the direction in which we're crocheting. Now from here we want to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I know this is a little wonky, guys, but you just got to work through it with me. At this point, we're going to do the same thing and working into the second stitch from the hook. So we're going to skip this one. We're actually going to slip one. Here we go. We're going to slip stitch into this space here. So we are going to go in, pull through, and pull through. Now we're going to work slip stitches all along our chain 7. So guys, it's looking a little weird right now. I know, just bear with me. So we're going to keep working along. We made our first slip stitch, so we're going to slip into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches. Okay, so here's 1, 2, here's 3, 4, and 5. Now at this point, you can see the back of our work is showing towards us. The signs is that the tail is pointing towards us. We see all of this. So what we want to do is we want to turn so that our work is facing us, and we can see the nice braided side right here. Now if we count up from the bottom, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is our 9th stitch right here. So, and as you see, this is kind of where we worked out. So we made our chain out of this spot. When you see this little hole right here, that, my friends, is where we are going to slip stitch at. Okay, so make sure we can see our nice braid, because we're going to work down that. We're going to slip stitch right here into the corner, and that's going to lock in this weird little side bit. Moving on from this, I like to make one more slip stitch back into the same space where we just made one. It's going to be a little tricky, guys, but it's going to extra secure this, and it's going to help keep us locked in on our shape. Now we want to keep working back down, so we are going to slip stitch in each one of these stitches here. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then there's one step after this, and then we are all done, guys. Okay, so go ahead and make your slip stitch of 7 all the way down and meet me back. Once you are all the way down, it's going to look a little something like this. And now, as you see, our first stitch right here of our round bit, that's where we want to make our next slip stitch at. And at this point, I just like to go around the edge one more time with one more slip stitch all the way around till I get to the other side right here. Now here I am at my last stitch. I've made my last slip stitch. I'm going to chain, pull that tight, and leave a little bit of a tail. Sorry if you hear a lot of loud noises. My neighbor upstairs is extremely loud. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this through. And then you will grab a tapestry needle and sew that bit in there. And then that is what you have, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video on this super easy, I guess not super easy, but it's relatively easy, musical note. And like I said, when you sew it on, you just want to make sure that your I guess tail goes up higher, because that's how music notes tend to be. I'm going to put a little clip in of I guess a picture of a top that I made and kind of how I assembled these on. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And again, make sure you subscribe to my channel. See you all next time.